Right now, there's a silent disease eating away at men everywhere. It's not in your body. It's in your mind. It's in your habits. It's in the way you see yourself every morning. And the worst part, most men never even realize they're infected until it's too late. Tonight, I'm going to expose the 7 signs you're a low-value man. This isn't for the faint of heart. If you're tired of being ignored, used, or left behind, listen up, because this might be the wake-up call that saves your life. Most men will die invisible, not because they weren't capable, but because they refuse to face the brutal truth about themselves. You are either a man other men respect, or a man they forget. There is no in-between. When you wake up in the morning, and you look in the mirror, there's a voice deep inside you. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it screams. You're wasting your life. You're not who you could be. You're weak, and you know it. But most men ignore that voice. They drown it out with cheap dopamine, fake confidence, and lies. Today, I'm ripping the mask off. No sugarcoating. No gentle encouragement. If you see yourself in these 7 signs, you are low value. And if you don't fix them, you will stay invisible till the day you die. Sign 1. You have no purpose. You drift. Picture this. You wake up. You grab your phone. Scroll through TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. An hour gone. You drag yourself to a job you hate, nodding at people you secretly resent. You come home, numb your mind with Netflix, YouTube, gaming, and then you fall asleep, empty, restless, angry at yourself. Days blur together. You feel hollow, but you tell yourself, it's normal. Everyone feels this way. Wrong. You're not living. You are existing. You are a leaf in the wind, blown wherever life decides to take you, reacting to whatever garbage the world throws at you. Men without purpose become slaves. If you don't carve your own path, you will be used as a stepping stone for men who do. The corporations don't want you to find purpose. The system wants you addicted, weak, easy to control, a consumer, not a creator. If you don't build your dream life, you will be hired to build someone else's. That's not a metaphor. It's your future, unless you wake up. Sign 2. You're ruled by your emotions, not logic. Ever snap at someone for no reason? Ghost a friend because you felt insecure? Freeze up in a moment where you needed to act? That's not just being human. That's emotional weakness. Low-value men are emotional children trapped in adult bodies. They lash out when criticized. They sulk when rejected. They run from anything that makes them uncomfortable. They live life like a pinball, bouncing, reacting, blaming. Emotionally reactive men are easy to manipulate. Governments, corporations, women, marketers, they all know this. They poke your fear, your lust, your anger, and watch you dance. That guy who fights over a dirty look at the bar, low value. The man who can take an insult, stay cool, and still dominate the situation, high value. High-value men master their emotions. Low-value men are slaves to theirs. Which are you? Sign 3. Your ego is big, but your skills are small. You know the type. Big mouth. 0 results. Always talking about what they're going to do. Always bragging about connections, money, women, success. But when you look closer, they built nothing. They have nothing. They're nobody. Low-value men hide their insecurity behind noise. Psychological fact. When you are truly strong, you don't have to say a word. Your results, your aura, your silence, they speak louder than anything you could post or shout. I once knew a guy who could talk circles around anyone. Everyone thought he was a boss for a while. But when it came time to deliver, to build, to endure, to win, he crumbled, lost everything, became a joke. Real confidence is silent. Real strength is invisible until needed. If your mouth is bigger than your achievements, you're not fooling anyone but yourself. Sign 4. You're always the victim. Listen closely. If every problem in your life is someone else's fault, your parents, your boss, your ex, society, your zodiac sign, Mercury in retrograde, you are living in a prison of your own making. Low-value men wear victimhood like armor. It keeps them safe from responsibility, but it also keeps them weak, miserable, and forgettable. I knew a guy once who could give you 20 reasons why his life was unfair. Bad childhood, bad luck, bad relationships. He was always waiting for the world to make it up to him. Guess what? The world doesn't owe you an apology. It doesn't even owe you fairness. The longer you blame, the longer you stay stuck. Blame is a drug. It numbs the pain, but kills the potential. Remember this. The world owes you nothing. Not love, not opportunity, not even an explanation. Accept that truth, and you become dangerous. You stop waiting, and you start taking. Sign 5. You're desperate for validation. Be honest. Does your mood rise and fall based on how others treat you? Do you light up when you get compliments and fall apart when you don't? Low-value men live and die by validation. They need attention, especially from women. They shape-shift. They betray themselves. They say yes when they mean no, just to avoid being disliked. The more you chase validation, the more you repel it. People smell desperation like blood in the water. It's an instinct. We are hardwired to distrust and disrespect neediness. Think about the guy who's always texting, always chasing, always apologizing for existing. Women lose interest. Friends lose respect. Opportunities vanish. High-value men are the prize. Low-value men beg to be picked. Want respect? Stop needing it. Start by respecting yourself, even when no one else claps. Sign 6. Chronic laziness. You never follow through. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow, next Monday, next year"? Low-value men are masters of delay, masters of excuses, masters of almost. They talk about dreams, but their actions scream cowardice. I once coached a guy who had every plan, every vision board, every strategy you could imagine. He was always about to launch his business, about to get shredded, about to change his life. 5 years later, he's still about to. Brutal fact. The world does not reward intentions. It rewards action. It rewards blood, sweat, suffering. If you're not moving forward, you are falling behind. There is no neutral ground. Every day you delay, someone else is outworking you, outbuilding you, outrunning you. Sign 7. You let others define your worth. If your self-esteem rises and falls based on what others think, you're handing them the remote control to your life. Low-value men are puppets dancing for approval, terrified of rejection, always seeking permission to exist. High-value men know who they are. They set their own standards. They walk alone if they have to. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who spent his 20s blaming everyone for his failures. He drifted from job to job, relationship to relationship, always angry, always empty. One day, he looked in the mirror and saw a stranger, a shell of the man he wanted to be. That day, he made a choice to kill the low-value man inside him and build something better. That man was me. And if you see yourself in these signs, it can be you too. If you saw even one of these signs in yourself, don't run from it. Face it. Own it. Decide, right now, to kill the low-value man inside you.